So if peace is what you're after, then take a deep breath and return to the peace within yourself. I want to share something with you that I channeled a couple of years ago. It's entitled, What's Your Story? And since tonight's theme is recreating the story, your life story, whether you define it as a horror movie, as a love story, as a thriller, as a mystery, as an adventure, as an action movie. Those are simple labels that we put on. And depending on where you are in the life story, the definition of how you would describe it changes. But what doesn't change is that which is always at the core of who you are. And that's what I'm pointing to. That's what I'm inviting each of you to identify within yourself, so that you don't get caught up with your present circumstances, because your present circumstances do not define who you are. They are temporary circumstances that are here to help you evolve and adapt and recreate who you choose to be. That's what these opportunities are all about. How do I choose to show up? How do I choose to live? How do I choose to be, really? Anyway, okay, so it's called What's Your Story? So do you consider yourself to be a victim or a victor? Both words have minimal distinction in their spelling, but create totally different scenarios in our thoughts. How would you describe yourself? Do you use the same characterizations in your mind as when you converse with others? You know, like the big bubble. If we all had that, you know, in the cartoons, the big bubble that indicates the thoughts of the individual. Yeah, how often is what is being thought being expressed? And are those two in sync? So that's what that's referring to. Would you be embarrassed, ashamed, or proud if individuals could hear your thoughts, your views, your beliefs, your reasoning? Each of us has a personal story that we tell ourselves. We have invested numerous years devoting our time and our energy by rebelling, suppressing, rejecting, modifying, tweaking, and embellishing what we call my life story. The story we repeatedly tell ourselves affects every aspect of our existence. Often we are unaware to what degree we are being influenced by our past. It has an effect on how we carry ourselves, how we present ourselves to the world, how we speak, how we dress, the movies we watch, the friends we relate to, the addictions we give into, the careers we have chosen. It even dictates the actions we take and those we don't. We talk to ourselves more than anyone else does, and it is constant and it is endless. And we listen to the same song, the same tune, which is your thoughts, over and over again, until one day you decide. You either change the record or you turn it off. That's simple. So are you choosing to point out your successes, your strengths with words of upliftment, of encouragement, which is the victor? Or do you choose to focus on your pitfalls, your weaknesses, your failures, which are all part of being the victim? Often what is overlooked is, regardless of the descriptions and explanations repeated in our mind, whether it is a story we are proud of or one we are ashamed of, within each of us is a force that is neither a victim nor a victor. It remains untouched by the circumstances of our life, and it is unaffected by the state of our physical being, whether we describe it as horrific or beautiful. It just is. It's not affected by your health. It's not affected by your wealth. It's above all of that. It is aware of itself in this particular aspect of divinity, in this temporary role, experience various degrees of emotions, but remains unmoved. Our intellect classifies or labels events in our present day or from our past as either being good or bad, or being painful or joyful, but our higher self, the sacred heart, that which is connected to all, that part that is connected to all that is aware and recognizes all of it as facets of presence, observing without judgment, without distress, resting in the peace, in the knowing that however you define yourself, it is not who you are. So the invitation tonight is to drop your story, whether you describe it as mundane or exhilarating, and then discover for yourself what has always remained intact, regardless of the story you tell yourself about yourself. Regardless of the story that you repeat and you retell and you recount, it is not who you are. It has never been who you are. They have simply been experiences that have shaped you, sometimes caused you to go into hiding, sometimes causing you to alter who you are in order to fit in order to feel connected, in order to feel like you belong. Any questions, guys? I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, let's go into meditation. I'll keep it, like I said, really short tonight because it's so nice out, and I have a pitcher of sangria waiting for me. So let's close our eyes, come together in this moment as you take a deep breath, reconnecting to source energy, reconnecting to this vibration of love, this vibration of wellness, this vibration of peace, this vibration of harmony, this vibration of calmness. Take a deep breath and feel yourself coming into this merging as the human self and the divine self. Begin this beautiful dance, merging as one in this moment in your life story. So as you take another deep breath, feel yourself relaxing, feeling totally at ease, totally at peace, knowing that you are safe, that you are protected, that you are surrounded by your team of light who walks before you, beside you, behind you. For in every moment, in every instant, each of you is looked after, each of you is taken care of, each of you is guided, each of you is inspired, each of you is empowered. So take another deep breath, allowing yourself to relax even deeper, to be in a state of allowance, in a state of acceptance, in a state of attunement. For as one relaxes, one surrenders to the force that is greater than itself, allowing yourself to be guided, allowing yourself to be moved, allowing yourself to be rejuvenated, recalibrated, so that you are coming into a greater alignment of the truth of who you are, who you have always been. As you have more courage to be bolder, to be braver, to be more of your authentic self, to show up in a way that you have never shown up before. For the call of your soul is getting louder and louder, inviting you to return back to its source, to plug in to that everlasting, infinite well of intelligence, of all-knowing, and disconnecting from the hearsay of others, to be at one with the presence of grace, to be in recognition of one's power, of one's truth, of one's love. So as you recreate, which simply means looking back through the eyes of grace, through the eyes of love, through the eyes of understanding for 2020, looking in hindsight, everything makes perfect sense. As one connects the dots, one realizes how every experience has brought you to this moment. Your hardships were not created for you to simply survive. Your hardships were created for you to thrive, to rise, to be all that you came here to be, to create from a state of joy, from a state of wonderment, from a state of adventure, so that everything becomes new once again, allowing stale, outdated ways of thinking, of identifying, to be put to the wayside. So we invite you now in this moment to see yourself walking into a room, and by the window there is a desk, and you are guided to take a seat. And as you sit, looking out at whatever scenery is comfortable or is inviting to you, we leave that to your discretion. As you look upon the desk, there is a book, and its title is your name. And as you turn the first page, the story begins. The story of your life, the story of this incarnation. As you look at the pictures that go with the narration, look through the eyes of your sacred heart. Read with the mind, with the universal mind that knows that nothing happens for nothing. Everything has purpose and everything is done on purpose. So gazing through this album of your life, all of the various participants that have engaged, that have been key players in your story, key characters. Do you not see all the love that was present? Even in the actions that one deems not so loving. And as you go through your story, page by page, month to year to decade, excuse me, you find yourself here in this present moment. Knowing that this part of your life is done with. At this time, you are in between chapters, or in between novels, if you will. For the old way of being no longer satisfies the hunger within you. No longer acceptable. For parts of you are waking up parts of you that have been dormant to themselves, to yourself, are calling out for more. Not more materialism, more presence, more engagement in life, more participation in creation, intentional creation, focused creation, so that you are no longer a bystander of circumstances, for things do not occur to you. You allow them to come to you. That is how powerful you are. And when you are recognizing that you have this ability, that you can influence that which you see in your reality, then life becomes a grand game. Life becomes more joyous. Life becomes more exciting. You wake up in the morning as you did when you were young toddlers, eager to say what this new day would bring. Do not despair, dear ones. You have come forth to be this love in action, to be this guiding light, to be this unstoppable force in human form. Claim this as your birthright, for it is your birthright. It is time each of you claims dominion over oneself. For you are the narrator. You are the writer. You are the director. You are the producer. So produce something that you are proud of, that brings you deep fulfillment. There is great love for you here. And so it is. And now in this state of being recharged, empowered, I'd like to take this moment to send love, courage, and strength to my beloved soul sister, who in this moment has ended a chapter, a very important chapter in her life story. May she continue to stand as the warrior of light that she is. And to all those who are struggling in doubt and confusion, may they hear the call of their soul. May they feel the nudge from their heart. May all beings everywhere awaken to the truth of who they are. So please come back at your own pace.